Thank you for having me here. And actually, that my brother, Mr. Prabhakaran, spoke about disability people and how advantage AI, artificial intelligence. So, in my topic is that emerging challenges for children. How children escape from these kind of challenges in cyberspace, especially because of cyber threats and artificial intelligence development. So when the rapid expansion of artificial intelligence, it's already developed in that Internet of Things. Altogether, we call AIoT, that is AI-driven automation. So together with all cybersecurity breaches and AI-driven automation tools, we have to protect our children in all over the world, not only Sri Lanka, especially the Sri Lankan concern. I may come a little later, but when we consider about best child to produce in future, so we have to protect them in cyber threats. So that's what we should know. What are that kind of threats prevail on cyberspace? So that as we just, you heard about disability people and how they advantage generative AI, and also then how that child become with the victim with the violence of these AI tools, and especially the children's privacy, dignity, autonomy, and long-term psychological well-being in threats nowadays because of their use kind of tools without any or a proper advice or a proper ethic. So who are claiming that who kind of this ethical framework or kind of advices, that kind of framework not established in a country, then the child be a victim. So for that rapid expansion called the transformative paradigm known AIoT become by 2026, that's integration reshaping industries. That, for example, that called the market expected grow from approximately $171 billion in 2024, nearly it's expected developed by 2030, that is $900 billion. So then this shift moves IoT from passive data collection, intelligent autonomous system, and analyze, learn, and act in real time. You all know that when come to the AI system, especially if I take cyber threats, I think you may have come across kind of cyber threats like phishing attacks and ransomware, malware threats. So it's most common. And when AI-driven threats are more dangerous than the cyber threats we normally learn. But then if you categorize actually for the time that I just categorize only few, and AI digital cloning and identify theft and sexual exploitation and psychological and emotional threat, kind of monitoring system and algorithm bias and legal gap, and finally how we want to escape and what kind of steps should take. So when we come to AI, do you think it's kind of, what do you think? And what is AI? Any answer? Okay, so if I suggest that is AI is an agent, because in a market actually we have to we can buy many things. If I say agent, Now, for us, say about you think about that normally, like this function, we have a coffee machine, so that you go and operate yourself by coffee machine and take pour your coffee you own, right? That is not agent, but it's done by you. But once think about, just you go to the machine, then machine recognize you and follow your kind of monitoring system has happened past few days, and when you go to the machine, so machine says, hi, that I know your desire, and I know that you like latte, so shall I make one? If the machine asks from you, so you may be amazing how my machine knows my desire, isn't that? So that is what happened in digital world in nowadays already, and maybe in future the machine knows, or a kind of Internet of Things, or maybe kind of devices know what you are, who you are. So, and what is, they have already followed your desire. That is because of why? Because of what? AI is normally having the monitoring system. So when come to this kind of breach, AI threats, risk, that's why we want to consider why we have monitoring system. If we have monitoring system, then how will be the child? That child doesn't know anything, he can't give consent, he can't sign agreement, he can't understand what's the threat. So we adult should conduct proper way. But the thing is all over the world, especially in Sri Lankan concern, we have forgotten that child is a child, and we have to conduct, we have to guide, we have to have kind of proper ethics, we have to use that is in homes, maybe when we use internet, or kind of behavioral pattern copying. So that you think that maybe your customs and traditions at home, but do you have any customs for your internet use? So that's what if you are going to protect your child hereafter, you have to have that kind of policies at your home. So when come to the digital cloning, maybe have heard that image making, or we normally call digital twin. So that is actually what I am telling about the advanced risk here. There are many minor risks available already, but I mentioned the advanced risk only here. So when we see that AI create digital twin, that is clone photos, videos, video recordings, and behavioral data. So that cloning means that we have the concept by 2050, we have the topic teleportation, that is making the same kind of person in the world. So that the cloning process going on in that way, so that's why we want to protect beforehand, and also the copies, appearance, speech, and even online behavior without consent. So when it comes to identify threats and privacy violation, also same. And also the next one, the dangerous one, unwanted content in the internet all over there, and many children exposed to it because of who? Because of who that the children exposed to it? Because of adult. Because adult or parent, sisters and brothers at home, referring those things, or otherwise no any other point of referring all this or knowing all this, because without our consent the child cannot go to the internet. But I don't say that we have to restrict, but there are so many chances to learn, but the thing is the violation. So that we have to think about the AI generated explicit consent involving minors in increasing global threat. That is actually the sexual abuses material, we call AI CSAM. AI generated that's being used to bully, sexual harassment, groom, exhort and mislead children. Especially in Sri Lankan context, we see that the school children, without consent or without knowing, they get the link of this kind of abusive content. So all over the world may be, but there are kind of laws and rules, regulations to mitigate. But in Sri Lanka, we don't see that kind of mitigation process or kind of the behavioral control or even knowledge awareness. So that's why normally that I can say the adult themselves, they have already opened that trouble for children. Actually, the next one, the special threat, psychological damage and emotional risk, that is in cyberspace, we can see kind of mental kind of diseases, actually, like victims suffer anxiety, depression and social withdrawal. Those, you may have heard this kind of mental diseases, but do you know that our children having kind of ADHD and depression, anxiety severely when come to the in home situation, or we don't go to the consultant or a counseling for these things because we not developed yet kind of platform here. But even the other countries, they have experience and research these kind of cyber psychological things happen in cyberspace. We have to protect our children on that also. So algorithmic bias and social bias, arithmetic discrimination. Actually, when come to the algorithm, you may have that word algorithm. We normally, those algorithms come after us with AI, with even a smartphone that you have, right? So that inequality and biased AI systems can marginalize children based or gender, disability, ethnicity or a psychoeconomic background, violating of the principle of non-discrimination. So that cloning also again come there, and this kind of legal legal background, if there is a legal background, they mitigate these things, actually the problems, we can little bit keep a safer space in our children. So to prevent this type of risk, actually, we want to raise our voice, especially as women. And as child, if you need a best child at home, we need kind of protection than law. So the monitoring, actually, the monitoring system and the school systems already prevail this kind of behavioral monitoring also, so that too, you know that our legal system is actually not enough, and we want to mitigate and especially establish the best practices rules in schools and ethical framework in our system. So that I think in future we will get kind of these frameworks and to protect our future generation. Thank you very much.